Hello, I'm Jo Good, and this is the SheerLuxe show dedicated to our wonderful gold viewers. Coming up on today's show, we go to the fabulous interior designer Nina Campbell's house to have a nosy. Plus, fashionista Amanda Wakeley OBE is sharing her style secrets with me at her beautiful Riverside apartment. But first of all, let me introduce my truly fabulous guests. I'm delighted to be joined by founder and makeup artist, the infamous Ruby Hammer MBE, and fitness instructor and founder of Monique Eastwood Method, Monique Eastwood. Welcome, girls. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Very well,
Very
thanks.
Lovely
You look
to see you.
fantastic. It's so good to see you. And the first time I've met you, Monique, and I
Yes,
love what you're both wearing.
Thank you.
We will discuss that a bit later. Can I just, before we do anything else, talk about, have you heard about Demi Moore's latest movie?
I'm just getting the sort of drift of it. And
It's called The Substance.
Yes.
And it's about, she's playing, well, a Hollywood actress or a Hollywood fitness guru who is on the verge of being sacked, but she is offered a medicinal, well, it's called The Substance. It's an elixir that will take her back to her 20-year-old self.
Oh, how frightening.
Do you are you tempted? Would you?
Would you?
I actually think I look better now than I did in my 20s. So the dream is that you want your body, which you think is a physical peak when you're younger, but everything else hasn't even peaked.
Yeah.
You know, your experience, the way your mind works, your relationships, your instinct, all the things that you've gathered and accumulated through this lifelong journey, if you're lucky enough to live to, you know, because it is a blessing to be alive is a blessing. I lost my mum when she was 67. I'm 62 now. So when people go, oh, I'm like, do you not want to live then? Do you want to call it a day now? Because
But be honest, Ruby and Monique, do you not? I look at pictures of myself at 20 and I think, oh my God, why didn't I realise how stunning I was? Why did I not make full use of that? Wouldn't you love that? The jawline, the skin tone.
I'm exactly like you just said. I would like to have known that I was youthful and gorgeous then. But you never know when you're young. You're always looking for, you know, the next best thing. So I think I'd like that element of knowing myself better when I was in my 20s and being this wise. But yeah, that's the only part.
the other part, though, isn't that how nature operates? There's a pattern, there's a cycle. And I think just wanting to be trapped and hold in one thing, and I'm speaking from beauty perspective, where my job, my career has been to maintain or bring out the best in someone, and yet there are many people who sit in my chair where they're trying to capture that thing of past.
Yeah, you're right.
And
you can't.
I don't do that to myself, because I feel if you don't make peace with the aging process, and it's not necessarily all doom and gloom, and it's not necessarily the best thing of when you were young, you will not live a satisfied life.
Okay, but let me put this, we're all in an industry that's based on our looks. It is, you know. Imagine,
you can't get away from that.
No, but imagine applying for a job in all our spheres at this age. Would we even be given a look in?
I think you've got more chances of getting that job now than you would have before, because I think things have widened. You know, when I first started, when I had the young models, you know, and lovely big stars at that time, supermodels, they were just thought that as soon as they got married or had kids, that would be their career over. Go and ask Cindy Crawford and Kirsty Turlington and all of those lot. They work now too. They've just busted the... Now those doors are more open, I think, than they've ever been. Whereas
I think it's
before,
inspirational. I think we are inspirational now. Sorry, but I do think we are. I think people are inspired that we are still able to be the strong people. I mean, I'm a fitness instructor, so for me it's about my body every day. I'm training. So if I can still be doing it at nearly 58, I mean, that's giving hope to the 40-year-olds
and looking like that.
Oh my gosh, I mean, I'm just looking at your décolletage. Is it not a wrinkle? It's just so toned. But would this be possible to make a film about a man, you know, in
Probably
his
not,
50s on the verge of being made? Well, he wouldn't be made redundant. Could this film work from a male perspective, do you think?
It would end up being a comedy.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
It would end up being that kind of, you know, we're kind of witty and blah, blah, blah. So the thing is, there's an enormous burden on the feminine women. It doesn't matter whether you're biologically born a woman or whether you transition it or whatever it is. I feel when you are born a female, that is, if you believe in a divine power or the energy of the universe, whatever it is, this is given. It is a strength. It is a power. We create. We bear life. We take that on. We nurture. So part and parcel of that is always, oh, you're not looking at your peak. You're not that. But we have to push that boundary, and I think we have. That's why now, Jo, I think if you went and somebody didn't give you the job and you could feel it, that it was only you're qualified, you look good, you can do it, and it's just the age, well, you can do something about it.
Yeah.
Now. You can just go on social media and say,
yeah,
I got this job and they didn't give it to me. So you have recourse.
You're very right,
You've got
actually.
power
You can,
now.
yeah, you can. You can have come back. Just very finally about this subject, Demi Moore, I mean, beautiful.
Stunning.
She was beautiful to start with. She's beautiful
Yes.
at whatever age. Was she the perfect actress to cast in this role, do you think?
The director, the producers who has written it, they must have searched high and low, and there's not shortage of good-looking women in Hollywood, is there? So, but she's a good actress.
And
so
we've been through her journey of what
Exactly.
she's dealt with, hasn't
Exactly.
she? She's tried to hold the years back. I mean, that's common knowledge.
Yeah.
So maybe she was the perfect candidate?
Maybe being that beautiful when you're young can be a bit of a burden to you in that industry because you have to maintain it. I think that must be a really hard thing for women that have been cast for being beautiful.
But she's she's a good actress, and she's disciplined. Like if you see her in G.I. Joe, like how she had to train, how to get to that marine status.
She says it was relentless for G.I. Joe.
Well, it would have been, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? So there are
easy.
all kinds of things they have to do for the parts they play.
Absolutely.
Look at Tom Cruise, he's still busting his doing those things. So there is discipline and there is things. So she will benefit from that. Look at this. She's in great. I'm looking at her going, I need to up
can we
those
just
weights.
delve into your secrets, Monique, as we have
Ooh,
the fitness guru and the beauty guru? Listen, this is the gold show for women of indeterminate age. Can you give us some top tips? I mean, going back to how we were in our 20s, I suppose our fitness is based on the history of our fitness, or can we change it?
Yes, we can change it, but you're right. If you've been fit in your 20s, obviously you have a better chance of keeping your bone density strong throughout your life. So it's really important to incorporate that early on. And also it's learned behaviour. And I think that is such a huge thing because when you're getting older, it's not that easy. You've got children, you've got other complications, you might have jobs you're trying to, hold down. I think if you can manage to keep a kind of a routine with your fitness and your health throughout your journey, then when you get to harder times, you've already got those tools. You're already there. You know how to kick
And so
in.
what would you say, your top tips? Is it weight bearing? Is it reformer
it's
Pilates?
all the stuff you've heard before. I mean, it's nothing. I don't go to the gym and sweat in there for hours. I'm at home a lot of the time. So, and I've got my reformer, which I love. But most of the time, I'm hiking up hills, and I'm really pounding it out. I mean, I've got little legs, but I can really walk fast. And then I've got weights at home. And I love to move. I really do.
And would you move every single day?
Every day.
I watched this fantastic podcast with you and Stanley Tucci, and no, but he was hysterical because he said he will feed you, and then you'll go, right, we've got to walk now. So you whatever you do.
That did sound neurotic, though, didn't
No,
it?
but I totally identify it.
Yes.
If you have a massive meal or a late night out, would you the next day?
Yeah, I think that's kind of probably my dancer's discipline. Remember, I was a ballerina. So I think, when you've overindulged, and I'm talking overindulge, I don't just exercise every time I eat.
It's okay to occasionally.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing of it.
But you also want to feel that your body's sort of like sweating it out and recharging, because we all know the benefits of exercise and having strong bodies and healthy cardiovascular system. So yeah, I do balance it. I really think you have to balance it, and then you enjoy it more.
Ruby, what's your exercise routine?
Well, I was listening to that and she's saying you should do this when you were young. So when I was younger, I was really skinny. There wasn't 1 ounce of fat on me. My body changed shape probably after my divorce. So I was going to 45 is when you notice I couldn't eat everything and it would, and I'd still be like that. So I worked with supermodels and you stand next to them and you don't feel anything. I wasn't as tall as them. You would, nothing. This is it. But I wasn't fit.
No.
I looked fit. then when the menopause hits is when I was like, okay, this isn't about how you look anymore. You've got to preserve your health. And I lost my mum when I was 50. So that's when I now train. I train 2 to 3 times a week, and I do weight-bearing exercises, and then I have to do a bit of cardio because we've got heart disease in the family. So I know we're not diabetic, but I've got to do that. And everyone goes, oh, you always look good. And I'm like, I look good because I dress appropriately, but that doesn't mean I've done that. Yeah. I wish I had done that. Whereas my daughter, they're of that generation where they all did work out. They do their classes,
oh my gosh,
they do whatever they're doing, and they'd go.
They're better. They don't have fillings. They've all grown up with fluoride. I've got a mouth full of black fillings.
It's the education, though, isn't it? It's out there. It's on our phones.
It's the time and whatever is going on now. You'll see a lot of men, women, young people are in the gym, and then there are some of our age, because we know I don't want to fall because that's when I'm going to damage.
It's so interesting what you were saying about you can't. I mean, I never had these until after the menopause, and they just appeared. I haven't eaten anymore.
We'll make the most of them now.
But they're just like grow. All the time I'm thinking, what can I do to hold? Can I hold them back? But I am beginning to celebrate them. It's what you said. Just enjoy being alive.
You know what, Joe? I'm not a fashion expert, but it's also, I always had boobs, although I was really skinny. They weren't huge, but they were perkier. And now when you have menopause, they go a bit softer and you've got them. But if you stand straight, and I'm sure Monique will vouch for me, having that now is good because you will have that hourglass figure, because our tummy will come. A little bit of thickening of the waist comes. So if you've got the boobs, when you stand like that, the waist will look smaller and you'll fill out there. So just
all to do with proportions. Thank you. All to do with proportions. Can I also just thank you, Ruby, but also, Monique, you've just explained, having been a ballet dancer, that's why you are so open here.
Like
just do arms in second. See, look, that is balletic. That is something that is
learned, yes.
Learned.
And inspirational, because you think, you know what, she's done it all her life, so that's why she looks like that. If you haven't done it,
Ruby, I do have clients that have been with me on a long journey. I mean, I keep my clients, which I'm so grateful for, and they do stay with me, and I do see their bodies very similar to my body. Because
which is brilliant.
It's the discipline of doing it all the time. You can't dip in for an hour a week and think that it's going to be like that. It's
isn't that nice that the body will give you another chance?
It does.
That it's not rigid. We can change it.
You can.
So we must all remember that. Thank you, ladies. I feel that was absolute gold dust, literally. So we're going to be back shortly, but first let's take a look at a very sunny day back in summer when I had the absolute pleasure of chatting to interior designer Nina Campbell, whose clients include Rod Stewart, Ringo Starr, and the Duke and Duchess of York, about her favourite things in her own home. You're going to love this. I am here with the designer Nina Campbell to celebrate objects in her wonderful home, and probably her dog is going to upstage us.
Well, I think definitely, he's definitely telling me that he's important.
He is important.
And he is important.
Shall we start with your first object, because he's here?
Oh, he's here. He's now so bored of our conversation that he's gone to sleep despite being deaf. So here is Twixie. He is a rescue, not from a bad home. A lovely Lebanese lady had him and she had to go and live abroad. So Twix came to me.
I love the fact he's our number one object, because I love dog memorabilia, but it has to be, you know, there's a lot of naff dog memorabilia around, and unfortunately I have some of that in my home. Can we talk about a second object of yours, which I spotted, which is stunning, which is almost Twixie in amethyst?
Well, that is rather beautiful. My amethyst, I found it at Guinevere, which is a shop I love to go to in the King's Road. And there was this little amethyst, I think a sort of Shih Tzu. This is all the Shih Tzus rolled into one, because there have been 3. And so there we are, you see, he's living and he knows we're talking about him.
Let's talk about what's on the fireplace, Nina.
Well, these are by Tommy Mitchell, who I met in America quite a few years ago now. He's the most interesting man, and he does these flowers in pots, and I've used them on various jobs of mine. And so I bought these 2 from him, and I love him because I really like objects close to me that belong to people that I admire or have become friends. It's a Mélisse in France. It's called the Mélisse. the May lily, and my birthday's in May, so my father always gave me a bunch of lily of the valley for my birthday.
You're talking about art. Can we go to
Yes.
your hall? Because this is a prime example of how to use art as you enter. One of the first things you see is art, and I love these two pieces.
This painting above is by Kate Corbett-Winder, and I went to her show, and I just loved all the wonderful, it's actually their house. You can just see a roof, but I love all this colour and the depth, and I wanted the sense of joy on arrival. So the fact that this is painted this wonderful sort of turquoise lacquer, it's actually a colour that I asked my painter to look at the inside of one of Kate Malone's jugs, which we will go and see in a minute. And so this whole little entrance hall is full of joy, I hope.
Its position is important because of also the piece of work that's
Well, I
underneath
bought
it.
this painting because she's my daughter's sister-in-law, and I went to that show and I loved this piece. Again, it sort of I love the mixture of colours, actually.
You mentioned Kate Malone.
Yes.
Should we have a look at the Kate
Let's
Malone?
go and look at Kate Malone. She's somebody I've followed for a long time.
Yes, and Nina, this is Kate Malone.
Well, this is the first piece I bought from her. I was invited to a show that she was giving, and as I walked in, on the table was this enormous, it stood about that high, pine cone, which I knew was perfect for a job I was doing in America. And then I saw this and I thought, I just love this piece. I loved the fact that all these little snails, but it was sort of a vegetable, but it wasn't. But this is what I meant by the colour in the inside. And she explained that when you put the colour into a pot like this, you don't really know what the kiln is going to do.
No.
And I'm completely obsessed by her pieces. So here we've got a little collection. This one also.
I love that. Can we move on to something even more personal
We may,
to you?
yes.
And this is a privilege to have a look at. Nina, will you open this? I love this. This
I
is
will.
every little girl's dream.
Well, it was given to me after my youngest daughter, Alice, married Richard. It was this beautiful box that she had made by Anja Heinmarsch with photographs of her and her husband in it, which I think are lovely,
So lovely.
on her wedding day.
And your name in gold.
And my name on gold on the top, and then
the
a
top.
million thanks in her writing, a little kiss there. So it's really very special. Well, this is also reminds me of a wonderful friend of mine called Harry Fane, and he was a jeweller. It looks like a beautiful object,
Sea anemone. It looks like a sea.
but it's actually a pencil sharpener.
Pencil sharpener.
So I keep it in my bathroom and sharpen sort of eye pencils
Eyebrow
and things in
pencils
it. I
and-
just find it incredibly pleasing.
Yes, yes, just to hold and to touch.
Yeah. And a pencil sharpener is such a dreary thing. It's usually a little plastic, horrible nonsense.
But one of the most necessary,
Yeah.
like a potato peeler, one of the most necessary things you need in your home. So Nina, we're now down in this very beautiful, tranquil guest bedroom, and one of the features you want to talk about is this wonderful, what I would call a nursing chair.
I think you're quite right. It's the Alice chair, because all the furniture in my collection is named after the children, the grandchildren, now the dogs. I've used it in a drawing room, either side of a fireplace or one side of a fireplace. It's a very good little odd chair. It holds you very comfortably. It's more comfortable than it looks.
And
'cause
this
you
is
never know
still
where you're gonna end up.
available in your stores.
Oh, totally, yes.
And
It's
I-
one of our line.
Because I'm so short, I always find arms often are the wrong height. I love this because it's,
Well, you can sit and talk to somebody in bed. You can move it very easily if you want.
and I like the way you've picked up the colours with the curtains. And may I ask you about this? Is this true that you were once heard to say, husbands come and go, but curtain makers stick with them?
Yes, it is, I'm afraid. It's followed me throughout my entire career.
I love
But I think, that a good curtain maker is quite invaluable.
Yeah, oh gosh, absolutely.
And mine has certainly stuck with me through thick and thin. So I tend to stick with sort of one or two colours in a room. I find it more calming, certainly in a bedroom. I do try and bring in other colours, which is why we've got the lavender in here, and then the objects can bring in colour.
Should we go and have a look at your courtyard,
Yes,
your
yes,
front
please.
courtyard? Nina, it's hard to believe we're right in the heart of London, actually, because this is just so beautiful. I actually think spaces like this in a city have more value than in the country, don't you
I think you're right. Yes, because you enjoy them more, and they're more of a surprise.
This is beautiful.
I
Where
bought-
did you
When
get
I
this?
bought this in Saint-Rémy in France, because I only really have time to relax and shop when I'm abroad. So it's another thing that my poor son has to deal with when, shipping it home, which wasn't easy. And it was a sort of off-white colour, but anyway, it's just been wonderfully sprayed by a friend of mine called Tom Faulkner to this dark green, which I think sort of disappears against the greenery. So it sort of makes, everything is being done to make every possible inch look a bit bigger. We're a very entertaining street. We all know each other. We come across from one house to the other and have drinks or discuss what party we're going to give.
What a life. I love this lattice work as well.
This is
and
really,
it's just
yes,
beautiful.
it's very nice.
And the curving, what we're seated on is a beautiful
Well, I think it's
curve.
quite nice to sit, you can put 3 people on it, but I mean, here we are with 4 chairs, and so we can get 6 people out here.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's quite nice.
And do you want to tell the story of the little robin?
Oh yes, my little robin has just been, I have a robin family in here who nest usually up here. For my birthday, Kim, who walks my dogs, gave me this beautiful little robin, and I sat him down and suddenly the robin has come back to the other garden.
Nina, I've absolutely loved coming here and visiting you. So you love people, and every object you've shown us has a person usually behind it.
Yeah.
Which I think is really lovely.
Well, then it makes it more cosy and more,
Yeah.
You're never alone in this house because there's 1,000 people in there making ceramics or painting pictures or doing something,
And so you can live with beauty, it's all around, you just have to find it.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Well,
It's
thank
too
you
easy
so-
to find.
It is too. For you, it is. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you very much. It's been a joy.
How fabulous was that? Wasn't she fascinating? And she actually gave us the most beautiful lunch. Anyway, girls, back to you. Both of you, and if you don't mind me becoming a little bit personal, both of you are in long-term relationships. I never managed more than 4 years with my marriage, so I'm desperate to know, how have you done it? I'm going to start with you, Monique. Your husband's upstairs, actually.
Left him up there. He's my videographer, terrible one. No, I've been married for now 33 years on the 20th of October, 20th. Yes, we've had a long marriage, very long marriage, but I knew him when I was very young. My parents left South Africa and I went to a ballet school, and my sister and his sister were friends, and then so we met when I was about 16, but I started dating him at about 17. So he was my first boyfriend.
Do you have children?
We do. We have 2 girls.
You do.
31
And how long
29.
into your marriage did you have kids?
So then I went to South Africa, so I didn't see him for a while. And then he turned up out of the blue while I was on stage performing. I didn't know he was going to be there. My sister brought him over. And yeah, that's a long story. And then I came back to England, and then we got married. And then a year later, I fell pregnant with Giselle. And then 2 years after, Bronte.
And Bronte, she's such a dancer.
I know.
But how sexy. So he fell in love with a ballet dancer,
He
basically.
did long ago.
Everyone does.
I don't know why. I was very
Because
nerdy,
of
though.
supreme
Very
athletes.
nerdy.
Oh, right, be honest. And Ruby, I'm coming to you with this question as well, Emily. I mean, have there been dodgy times?
Of course, every marriage has ups and downs.
Oh,
well, I'm
it
sure
wouldn't
they
be
do.
life if it wasn't
You're
dodgy.
different people. You have to be different people. You don't want to be like exactly the same. So, yeah, there's times when your paths aren't exactly aligned, and you're going there and he's going there, and you've got to figure it out. But I think the core part is that you have love and respect, and I think, respect is part of love. Yeah. And I think that always just brings you back on track again. Of course, financially or like with young children, with your careers changing, there's always stress. There's stressful moments in a marriage, but you have to sort of figure it out together.
Are you absolutely honest with each other? I mean, my short, memorable marriage, I would wake up early to put makeup on, so he never saw me looking at anything.
No, I don't do that. No.
But are you honest?
Yeah,
Does he see everything?
He sees everything. I think by 33 years, he's seen everything. Yeah, no, definitely.
It'd be a bit spooky if he was living with someone for that
Oh my God,
long.
it's too exhausting. Oh no,
Yeah,
no.
to keep a
I have to be
charade.
authentic. Otherwise, yeah, that would be.
Are
very
you
exhausting.
a jealous person?
No, I'm not actually. I don't think he is either.
But if you go to a do and he's looking, I'm so jealous. If he's looking at anyone else, would your hackles rise?
No, I don't think I've ever seen him do that. That's the weird thing. I mean, I'm sure he does appreciate beauty, and no, I think we really get each other, and I think that's really important. That trust. If you don't have that underneath that trust, then you're kind of on rocky ground, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't think the trust, once it's broken, can ever come back.
Well, I mean, I don't think any human is perfect, and I think you've got to look at human beings and say we are flawed and we are going to make mistakes. But if it's a big mistake, obviously, you know, there's no way back from that in your trust side. But no, I think we put such high expectations on each other. Really, we are just flawed human beings figuring it out as we go along. But if you have trust and love and respect for one another, your journey together can just be quite
and
a magical
30 odd years, that's a journey.
That's a very long journey, and that's a very commendable journey. But, you know, I was married, this is my second marriage, so this is my second long relationship. So I was married, I met my first husband when I was 23, 24, we got married, 25, I had my first daughter, and I was married for 15 years. And then he probably had the midlife crisis, I don't know. Then the trust was broken because there was a third party involved.
Yeah.
And I did try to hang on to my marriage for a good 2 years, 3 years.
Did you?
Hanging on, yeah, because it's
You
a
had children.
unit.
Yeah.
I have one daughter, and it's not that I'm airing dirty laundry here now. It's not. He's a very decent man. That's why I fell in love with him, and we were married, and we were married that long. He was the first person I'd slept with. He is my business partner, my husband, the father of my child, everything. When it broke, it shattered me completely. Really, really that. And I think he was quite shocked at that, because I think he thought, you know, whatever I take on, I do it wholeheartedly. I don't do things
halfway.
I don't. And I think he didn't realise. He thought, oh, you're just career bound, you're this. I'm like, no, I'm a mum too. I'm not split this way, that way. But whatever it is, Monique said earlier, no one is perfect. I'm not perfect. I have faults in that marriage, in that I probably took it for granted, because I just thought, oh, we'll be here in this armchair forever. And one of the lessons I've learned on how you keep any relationship, and I don't think that's just romantic, you mustn't take
it for granted.
Anybody for granted.
I agree.
Whether that's a client relationship, whether that's you guys working, whatever it is, don't just assume and, oh yeah, take it for granted. Because
it's there forever.
Everybody deserves that attention.
That
so I've learnt that from the breakup of that first marriage. My second marriage now, it'll be my wedding anniversary tomorrow. But we've been together, it'll be 14 years married, 20 years together. So it's outlived my first marrige.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But can I just ask you this? Because the trust went in the first one, do you, if he's late home, if you're working away, do you have in your head this voice going,
I am not,
what's he up to, what's he up to?
Intrinsically, I am not a suspicious and possessive woman. I never have been. When it happened in my first marriage, it was like galling, because I was like, really? Like,
shock.
Yeah, shock, betrayal, because you're like, oh my God, and who it was with as well. So it was all of that. Second, you can do that, but my first husband was 10 years older than me. My second husband is 11 years younger than me. Oh. And worked for somebody very young, Soho House. Yes. So all the people are young. And so if I sat there tarnishing him with what's happened in the past, because then you are self-sabotaging yourself and your relationship. My present husband is not a flirt, but he's very attentive. He appreciates, he sees things. If they didn't do that, how would they appreciate you?
Yeah,
if they don't appreciate the female form, or that one dresses well, or this, how would they appreciate you if they're walking around with blinkers on?
Yeah.
But that, if right in front of me someone did something, I think, okay, then my heckles
would go up.
But you have to give me cause. I don't walk around going, why did you come late, so you're doing this, and who have you done, who was that, who was that?
Yeah.
No, he's probably more possessive. My present husband is probably a bit more possessive of me than I am with him.
Lovely.
It's not in my nature.
I love that. I know it's not very feminist of me, but I love that. Can I just ask, you both got daughters?
Yes.
Would you recommend marriage to your daughters?
Yes.
Because I don't know if I would, you see. I don't have a daughter, but would I recommend
think if
marriage?
it's the right relationship, I mean, marriage in the old days, okay, what I do say to my daughters and young women of that age is, you don't need a man to put a roof over your head, and you don't need him to put food in your stomach, and you don't need him as a status that I am somebody because I've got someone. and marriage is the best one to say, oh, it's my husband, it's my this, it's my that. I feel, but as human beings, we need companionship. It might be the sexual side, it might be the funny, the laughter, the journey that you go on together. So even today, legally, financially, there are lots of benefits of being in an institution of marriage.
I agree.
But if it's not the right relationship, I would say run a flipping mile.
Yeah.
When you see it's not good, don't hang in there like I did. Disintegrate it, end it, and if you want to change your mind and go back again, who's stopping you? What, is it illegal to not, I divorced you and now...
Oh, no. I honestly believe, forgive me, you have to do it twice to get it right.
Whatever it is. So, no, I still feel the institution of marriage, not the way it was done in feudal times or where you are my chattel and you're this and you'll do as I'm told and I have to provide you this and you have to do... No.
It's still... But I would say, I doubt, gosh, this sounds so pessimistic, that this generation would ever have a marriage of over 30 years. I just don't see it because it's so easy to dissolve.
But Jo,
marriages.
they're marrying later now
because
their careers
having
are sort
children
of taking over. I mean, my daughter's 31 and my other one's 29. And they're both in great careers. You know, they really are sort of head down doing their thing. And their boyfriends are lovely. I really love their boyfriends. But they're not talking marriage yet. I mean, they've got stuff to do. Whereas I think in my day...
And you as a mother are not going, when are you two getting married?
No, definitely not. I'm not ready to be a grandmother, that's why.
We don't,
too busy.
There's a generational, there's a change, a drift. And I went to a marriage last Saturday and it was young people and I wish them so well. They met at work and it is hopeful, it is joyful, and you know, you can only bless them and hope that you communicate and you keep that love, trust,
but you're
and
not
friendship.
The same. You're not the same. I'm not the same as I was when I married my husband at 24.
So
I'm completely different in so many ways. And
Totally.
So the journey has changed.
As long as you travel side by
if
side.
I was still with my first husband at 23, I'm not the same person I am now at 62. But the thing is, you are two separate entities.
You should be.
Yeah.
Someone, and nobody is in a vacuum. Everyone evolves and changes. Nature does it, we do it. If somebody's sped off ahead, that person should have the nous to look back and go, "Oi, what are you doing there?"
What a
with me.
great analogy.
Yeah.
And someone who's at the back
needs to say, "I'm going to run."
Hey, you've really gone ahead. No, come back. Wait for me.
I've got a dog. And that's it. Thanks, girls. Now our next segment. It might be up there as one of my most favourite shoots ever. We filmed Style Insider with the creative director and podcast host Amanda Wakeley. The super glamorous ex-fashion designer has the wardrobe of dreams, and we chatted about everything style-wise, from her daily outfit formulas to her go-to look for date nights. And then I had a good old rummage through her incredible wardrobe. This is Style Insider, and I am so excited for many reasons. First of all, for being in this extraordinary home, but speaking to a style icon. For me, I think almost 3 decades of style. She's the top designer and podcast host, the wonderful Amanda Wakeley. Hello.
Hello.
You represent style in every sense. Is that considered?
I want how I am to feel completely effortless and completely comfortable. I'm so past feeling uncomfortable in anything, and that was my absolute mission as a designer, to make a woman feel the best version of herself.
It's interesting you say that, because you're known for, if I think of Princess Diana, you know, that amazing suit that she wore, very tailored, and yet I heard you give an interview where you said, and I so agree with you, there should always be something a little undone.
And I think as we get older, that is really important, because I think if everything's done, it's aging.
Yeah.
You know, if the hair, the makeup, the nails, the bag is matching the shoes, everything then feels a little bit too done.
You're the first person I've ever heard say that. You're absolutely right, it is aging. Do you believe in the 3 words?
Well, I do, because that comes up in my podcast. How would you describe your style in your style DNA in 3 words? So I always aspire to be effortless, I always aspire to be ageless, and I always aspire for my clothes to be forever, because I really don't believe in disposable clothes. I love to have beautiful things that I look after and stay with me on the journey, and then when I've had enough of them, then they get moved on for someone else to enjoy.
In your flagship store, the people that came through that door, I mean, Princess Diana obviously, and she became a friend, but who walked in that absolutely left you speechless, that you were so thrilled to see that they were going to wear a Wakeley?
Gosh, do you know what? And I always say this, and I'm not skirting the question. Nothing gave me more pleasure than seeing an insecure woman walk through the door and leave feeling an inch taller, with a slight wiggle in her hips. Tits.
And a wiggle in her tits. That's I'd love to know how you shop. Do you shop online? Do you go in? Because I like to go and feel the fabric and then maybe go home and shop online. But what's your shopping motto?
Well, because I do this fun Friday night show, Friday Night Fashion with Joe Alvin, I am now always shopping because I'm doing edits and all the rest of it for that. But so I suppose years of Amanda Wakeley, a website, an online store, your eye gets really, really honed. And also years of fitting models, all the rest of it. I can tell whether something's going to fit me from the imagery, 99% of the time, whether it's right for me. So I'm constantly doing that. But there's nothing better than just going out and touching and feeling.
I totally agree.
And you know, the high street is doing such a phenomenal job now. Oh my God. I mean, you know, what you can't get beautifully made and beautifully cut on the high street now, wow. It's giving designers a real run for their money.
You've always said the 80s were iconic, and they were, if you think what came out of it, and the glam rock over here. But the 90s was your decade, wasn't it? So if there was a style of the 90s, what would it be? Would it be the suit? Would it be the shoulder pads?
For me, it was the slip dress.
The slip dress.
And to me, it is still an iconic piece in my wardrobe, a bias cut slip dress. And yes, I wear it differently now to how I was wearing it then. But oh my God, I just, you know, it's the piece that I reach for again and again and again.
Finally, who do you think out there has got it? Who at the moment has style that you really admire?
I mean, you know, when I look at the red carpet, I think Kate Blanchett, ding, you know, just every time, fantastic, absolutely love what she wears. But I think a woman being true to herself, whether that's because you're a boho girl or you're a bit rock chick or whatever you are, I think if someone feels at home in what they're wearing, they're truly stylish. When you arrived this morning in this amazing jumpsuit and this colour is so good on you, but I could just tell you felt great. And you looked great, innit?
I got compliments coming down the road. I felt wonderful in this.
She's going to be going back. You know, she's going to be doing a second fly past.
What's your take on colour? And we'll probably talk more about this when we get into your wardrobe. But is it safer to do muted colours?
I think it depends on your colouring. And I mean, I do stick to a fairly monochrome sort of capsule because it's easy for me. I travel a lot and I just know that my blacks and my greys and my creams and maybe a bit of camel thrown in there all works together easy.
Can't wait to get into your wardrobe. Be honest, have you been up all night sorting it out?
I did edit it down a tiny bit. Right, let's go.
This is like an art installation for me. I just love it. It's beautiful.
Well, it's quite interesting because we don't have masses of space here. I have to be quite edited. If I'm going to meetings, I tend to be in a leather pant and a jacket. So I've got all sorts of leather pants here. This is more of a sport pant with the velvet trim, a gorgeous navy blue, deep, deep, deep dark navy blue. These are super high-waisted, very wide-legged. This was a vintage find and I absolutely love it. If I want to wear like this man's old tuxedo, which I found, I mean, how beautiful is
I've
that?
hunted for one of these forever. Oh my God, I love it.
It's good, isn't it? But I took all the buttons off it.
What a clever thing to do. And you wear it over your shoulders.
Over my shoulders, a sort of band t-shirt underneath it.
Yeah,
And so sometimes it's nice to have like a very skinny leg and a heel. Go to the men's area in vintage shops because you'll find amazing
Dinner
where are we?
shirt.
Dinner shirts. Here, look at that. That's a Hackett one.
Oh,
Isn't that
oh my gosh,
gorgeous?
this cotton is just so beautiful.
And
it
it's
is a dinner.
broken in.
And you've always said, as one of your staples, you love a white shirt, and you're living it. Because how many of you
a
got
pale
here?
blue shirt.
Yes,
Love
well,
a pale
it throws
blue shirt.
light back up on the face.
Well, it
doesn't
does. This was my grandpa's.
Oh,
Isn't that just lovely?
Oh, how lovely.
I mean, huge. It's 16 collar.
oh, the
Yeah.
history of that.
It's got a lot of history, that. If I have a creative moment, I think, okay, well, I buy a couple of these army parkas and I get them upcycled. So I will put them on my tailor's dummy and I will place all the ribbons on them. I mean, this one's quite a cool one.
Oh my God.
And I love the fact that this parka was from the 1960s. It probably went to Vietnam.
I was going to say Vietnam
And it's an
War.
American one.
And the weight to it.
And
but
the
I
weight to it is
and
fantastic.
I want this on all of my jackets.
I love these, but with a sort of slightly mismatched khaki cashmere. Great with a white shirt, great with white t-shirts.
Yes. Right,
You
can
know,
we look at these boots?
These are old Saint Laurents, but I
This
just
heel.
love them. Then you can also wear it completely scrunched down.
Yeah, baggy
which
down.
is, yeah. So, and I love that with a dress too.
Gosh. Oh my goodness. So, I'm trying to see the label in these.
They're Bottega from
Are
last
they?
season, and I loved them. And I thought, I am not paying that for those boots. So I went on Vestiaire, and I got them for about 70% off, and then I could justify them. Penelope Chilvers, she does a really good, long, slim cowboy boot. If I'm wearing a dress, I want to sort of make it a bit cooler, a bit more casual, and I love a cowboy boot.
I
for
love a
that.
cowboy boot.
So
So,
I've got quite a few of the same bag, as you can see, Joe. I bought this one. It's an old Jimmy Choo, and I bought it years ago, and I absolutely love it, but it sort of stays there because it's a beautiful thing. Because it doesn't fit a phone, it doesn't.
no. What's this tortoiseshell?
That is an old Bottega. I mean, from way back. This was actually from my very, very last collection. And so you've got this beautiful Prince of Wales, and then with the slim pant, but turning the seams onto the outside.
Oh my gosh.
Little waistcoat.
So the waistcoats, which everyone's celebrating
And
at
then,
the moment.
then I also
Love
did
this
that
seam
lovely
down the back.
camel coat with the Prince of Wales sleeve.
This for me is pure 70s.
It's pure 70s, it's Isabel Marant this summer, and I just thought I am going to live in those, and I have done. Because look, I love this. When you look at a platform, you're
That's-
only wearing that heel.
Totally.
That's the height that you're wearing.
Why don't they all
Love
realise that?
And these were the same. I bought
Oh.
these Chloe ones years ago, and again, I've been living in these with wide leg jeans. These are by the gorgeous Penelope Chilvers, and she's done this lovely collaboration with Sojan, who have this incredible tiger reserve in Ranthambore in India. So all of that is embroidered beautifully on this dark green velvet. She was coming on my podcast and she said, you know, I'd love you to have a pair of shoes to wear on the day. And I said, I'd love these, but can I have the men's ones, please? I put them on. She said, I really get it. You know, the shoe is a little bit deeper on the sides, a tiny bit wider. I know I'll wear these with a sock anyhow.
And we wouldn't even notice, but you can see that. What do you think are the 3 pieces every woman, whatever age, should have in their wardrobe?
Great silk shirts, really, really useful. Everything from cream all the way through. There's just something very chic and cool, I think, about a really well-cut shirt. Great jeans. For me, at this stage in my life, I'm just living in jeans, but then I'm also living in really well-cut leather pants too. And then a great jacket. I have to say, this is my everyday, yes, really good pair of jeans, a Wakeley shirt, and then probably my furry slides of one sort or another.
And can we talk about your denim? Because we actually missed that out, and I think your edit is
So these
here.
ones, these barrel legs are
Barrel legs.
Mother. I just love them. They're my new favourites. I love my rag and bone super wide leg. These are Moosey boyfriends,
Yeah.
ELV,
Oh,
denim.
right.
So this is a fantastic brand founded by Anna Foster. She was a stylist. And so what she's doing is she is repiecing jeans together.
Were you wearing animal print before animal print became a massive?
I've always loved animal print, whether it is the leopard print, zebra print too, caftans in the summer. If it looks good and expensive, it will go on forever.
Is that a Wakeley?
It isn't. It's a Lily low tan. I couldn't resist it.
Could I just thank you? I've just loved every minute
Oh,
of this.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
And there's more there. So we'll do part 2 another time. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank
Really
you.
lovely. Wow, she's amazing. I just want to be Amanda Wakeley, basically, and her wardrobe. Girls, can we talk about all things cultural? So I guess you have the finger on the pulse when it comes to shows, films, podcast. We have podcasts.
Well, actually, I was hoping to pick up things from you guys because the thing is, the intention is there.
Yeah.
And you never, I've heard that The Devil Wears Prada is going to be a show, and I can't wait.
A theatre show?
Yes. Wow. So I can't wait to get tickets for that because we've seen the film.
Yes.
And it's kind of when you're in fashion and beauty and all that, it's in our DNA.
And who's
so
playing her? I have no idea.
I have no
Please,
idea,
it
but
can't
I
be
need to
Helen
get
Mirren.
that show.
And 3 of the people I teach were in the original film.
Yes.
So it's Anne Hathaway with Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci.
Exactly.
So that's such a cool thing.
There's so much I want to ask you, but you won't tell us. There's so much I
Try
want to ask.
confidentiality.
Just tell me, Anne
She
Hathaway.
signed an NDA. She got
No,
on her
but
stuff.
just tell me this, okay, so this is a closed question, as they say in broadcasting. Is Anne Hathaway as lovely?
She actually is, yes.
Damn it. She's got everything. There's Hodge, who's our producer, was mentioned that she's just watched the latest Prince Andrew, the Panorama interview.
The second one.
Yes,
Second one.
which
Okay.
stars Ruth Wilson. Have you seen that?
No,
I haven't seen it yet,
No,
but I
watched the other
made
one.
up Ruth Wilson, and I think Michael Sheen's a great actor anyway. So it'd be nice to have seen the first one compare this one because it's another angle, isn't it? So
Well, can we just go back to Ruth Wilson? Because I love her mouth. Her mouth is just... What did you put on her mouth?
it was when she won her first BAFTA, so we're talking a lot years ago, where she's now a very accomplished, very, very amazing actress. But she's got quite a mobile mouth, so I knew not to put something like a bright red on her because it's not going to sit right with her. But a fantastic nude with shape and thing that she can smile and talk and
it's not sort of hitting you all the time.
Yes, yes.
And then concentrated on her eyes, and she's got some magical eyes. So that's what I did at the
can I just
time
ask
then.
you, when a celebrity sits like that, do they literally give you control, or do they say, no, I want this and I want...
It depends on the subject, and it depends on your relationship with them. So I'd never met Ruth until that day, but it was a big event for her. So it was very nice you have to make that person feel comfortable, to trust you to do what you do. And I held her hand and took her through the thing, to say, what do you feel comfortable with? What would you like? What do you not like? And then you have to realise she's going to go out there and she's got to enjoy that day and not worry about what she looks like.
Totally. Do you know Ruth Wilson?
Yes, I taught Ruth before lockdown, and then she used to join my online classes, Zoom in those days.
Yeah.
With everyone. Everyone used to pitch up, and she was there on screen, not a worry in the world, just doing sessions.
Monique, when that happens, do you keep your cool, or do you suddenly go, oh my God, Ruth Wilson's in her living room?
No, I'm very business-like,
You have to keep your cool, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to function as a professional.
No,
if you just sit, if you're fawning we are fans. Hello, we're fans. We are fans.
I'd be like,
of course we are. But if you sat there dribbling, from your mouth, you wouldn't be able to exercise your craft, which is what they are entitled to as well.
Yeah, I go in there with that mindset of what do you need? What do you want to, what do you want to get out of this? And I look at your body as I'm quite a good reader of a body and how they move. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm not really looking at what you do for a living. I'm just looking at you and what you need to do to function better and perform better. I'm a performance coach, really.
And can I just ask, because lockdown, I started to do classes online. I'd never done them before. And in fact, I haven't actually gone back. I still do a lot online.
Yeah, I've got my app online. It's
And
brilliant.
do you think you can see more on Zoom
I can.
than in a class?
I mean, obviously it's great to be with a person, but I have got a really good eye when I'm looking online because I can see a movement pattern. So, and it really works. Everyone is online that I teach. I teach the UK in the morning, and then I go straight into America in the afternoon.
Wow.
So I've got the whole day online, and then I've got the app, which is my live sessions, which I do on a Friday morning. So I'm keeping my community that was with me in lockdown, which is so lovely. See the little faces on screen.
She's retained them.
And they stay with you.
Yeah.
And it's just this lovely sort of online. I mean, obviously it's nice to see the people in person, but it doesn't make any difference.
No, I think that's one of the good things, one of the few good things that came out of the pandemic is that we could all just exercise online. Ruby, can I just go back, to Prince Andrew? Only because he favoured a nightclub and you were saying...
Oh my God,
please.
so I went to the opening, it's the reopening, because Johnny Gold, the original owner, has since passed away.
Of Tramp?
Yes.
So Tramp, for anyone that doesn't
Tramp
know, is this...
of our era was the
80s.
club to be, because it was always, the rivalry was between Annabelle's and Tramp. Annabelle's was the more sort of...
Well, the models
I don't want to be rude to anyone, but it was they were slightly older crowd and they were more aristocratic or whatever. Tramp was in those days when, you know, your Rolling Stones and your Jerry Hall and Marie Helvin and the photographers and pop stars and, you know, it was a it would have been... It was amazing. So for me, when I went back in there, it was reliving that little room, that thing. They've revamped it. It looks great. But everyone going down those steps, if they're going to remember what they remembered, and it will give you a jolt. And yes, I did. I didn't meet Prince Andrew there, but yeah, he did trample on my feet because he used to dance, and he has trampled not just on my feet, on loads of people's feet, and I don't think he'll mind me saying that.
And just give us how did he dance?
I don't think he was the best. Again, I'm really sorry.
He
wasn't the best dancer. You know, like he wasn't.
Send him my way.
You know, exactly.
Also, did you know Bridget Jones 4 is coming out?
I can't wait. I
Yes.
can't wait. But I might have to recap on my Bridget Jones 3rd because I saw the first two religiously, and then I
can't
haven't.
remember.
She's got a toy boy. Spoiler alert.
Haven't we all?
Actually, my
Well, no,
I'm just kidding.
I don't have any boy.
Joe, my daughter, worked on the production of that one. She said she's such a lovely actress.
I love her.
She's
I love
a
her.
brilliant actress.
How can she do an English accent? This is
She
Renée
said she
Zellweger.
stays in her English accent the whole time.
Apparently
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
She
which
just
is
she
great.
plugs into music, doesn't she? And stays in her zone, and then goes and does.
That's
the...
incredible.
But you know, I mean, it's got Hugh Grant back again. Has he got Colin Firth back again?
Something happened to Colin
Something
Firth.
happened, Ruby. We can't go there.
No, we can't go there.
Oh, sorry.
You have to watch 2 and 3.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
But it'll be
That's the
out.
thing.
What is it? Out at the end of the autumn.
Wow.
Right.
Bloody
Oh
hell.
my gosh. We are all going to your husband's restaurant. aren't
You
we?
have to go for lunch Wednesdays or Thursdays.
I'm going to the Royal
and you're
Opera
going
House,
to
though.
go. Nice.
Yes, I'm
Nice.
going to watch.
see the ballet?
To see Wayne McGregor, who I love. He's a choreographer, and he's doing I think it's called Madame Man or Madadam or something. Can't quite get it. And it's based on the, what is her name? Margaret Atwood. She's doing, I think, 3 of her sort of stories.
Wow.
But I'm really looking forward to it because Max Richter's the composer. And I don't know if you like to watch ballet, but he is just
ballet.
incredible.
I go through cycles where you suddenly see a lot of shows and then suddenly you think, oh my God, I haven't been for a year.
But you should watch this because the
okay.
the choreography with the composer, for me, makes it.
And do you know, I love the Royal
That's what I was
House.
hoping for. I'd glean a few things.
Yeah,
'cause-
yeah. But it's one of the few places left where people dress to go out.
Yes.
I
It's a treat.
hate people
It's a
going to
treat.
the theatre with their rucksacks
Me
and God
too.
knows.
And
It should
jeans
dress
on and whatever. I
jeans.
always dress up. I always have
Me
that
too.
because
I
I think
love it.
it's respectful.
Yes.
It's a outing and
Yes.
it's nobody says you should go and wear your ball gown there, but you should make an effort.
But it is a
Totally.
fortune, the tickets as well. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've got to sort of
It
feel
is
like it's a treat.
real
It's a real
nice
treat.
treat.
It's
You're
nice.
absolutely. Girls, I've loved it. We're all going to meet at lunch. I have loved it so much, and I hope all of you have. Thank you, girls, and thank you also to the wonderful Amanda and to Nina, and I hope you enjoyed it. And next week, we'll be back with a regular SheerLuxe show with fashion, beauty, food, and lots more. In the meantime, we would love it if you would comment below, please, because I try and answer every comment. Give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Say goodbye, girls.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.